Hi, and welcome back to LD Carlson. I'm Travis Sessions, part of the LD Carlson education team, and today we're going to show you multiple different fermentables that can be used to create a yeast starter. Now, what's the purpose of creating a yeast starter? You want to propagate your yeast so it has a stronger base before pitching it in your beer, therefore your fermentation is more likely to be solid through and through. However, the first thing that I must stress is no matter what you use, if you infect your yeast starter, you're going to infect your beer. So make sure to use proper sanitation at all times. Let's get into the different type of fermentables that can be used for a yeast starter, and then we'll jump on the equipment side. The fermentable portion of our yeast starter is very versatile, and many different types of sugars can be used to provide nutrients to the yeast. You can use dried malt extract, liquid malt extract, pure cane sugar, corn sugar, candy syrup, or even a yeast starter. The process of creating our starter is always the same regardless of which fermentable is chosen. We will bring our water to a boil, add enough of the fermentables to get to roughly 1.040 on our hydrometer, and cool the mixture to 70 degrees before we pitch our yeast. The equipment needed for a yeast starter is also very versatile. You're able to use any vessel that can store the liquid and has ample amount of headspace to allow the fermentation process. We do recommend an Erlenmeyer flask as they have several advantages. First, they have a tapered neck where you're able to use an airlock and a stopper. Remember, if you contaminate your yeast starter, you will contaminate your entire batch. However, we recommend the single-use foam stoppers. You want to make sure to sanitize this before use, but it is ideal in the sense that it will let oxygen get to the yeast, and at this stage of the yeast production, oxygen is a vital nutrient. Another benefit of using an Erlenmeyer flask is its flat bottom and the availability of a stir plate. While not absolutely necessary, a stir plate will help increase your cell count as opposed to not using one. No matter whether you use liquid or dry yeast for your starter, it is always a great idea to increase cell count. At the end of the day, we're trying to provide a healthy, viable yeast. Fantastic tools for pitch rate can be found by some of the leading yeast producers in the industry. We have shown here is Fermentis, Omega Yeast, Lallemand, and White Labs. Be sure to check out their websites for the incredible tools and knowledge they provide. I should note that there are other excellent options to quickly produce a yeast starter. Proper Starter is a great example as it's already a pre-condensed wort in a 16-ounce can. It's as simple as sanitizing all of your equipment along with the Proper Starter can, adding the 16 ounces of Proper Starter to a 2,000 milliliter Erlenmeyer flask, and adding 16 ounces of distilled or bottled water before pitching your yeast. If you have a stir plate available, it's an excellent way to increase your cell count quickly and easily. And that's the basic fundamental principle for creating a yeast starter. As you can see, there's a ton of different ways that you can do it, but they all share the same basic concepts. Now, it is important to note that no matter what you're doing with the yeast starter, it does take time. You can't rush it, so make sure you start your starter a couple days before your brew day, and you should be set and ready to go. Thanks again for visiting us here at LD Carlson. As always, please don't hesitate to click like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers.